Hello everybody, if you're tuning back in, I've put my diesel sump, or my Beans diesel sump on, and I was still unable to build fill pressure to bleed my lines out with all the contaminants and stuff in it. I just wanted to get whatever was in the hoses flushed out before connecting it up to my CP3 pumps. And I couldn't get it to prime. I pulled the fuel filter off, no fuel was coming into it, sealed that off, and pulled the water separator on it, and the pump was running, but it wasn't making any vacuum. So I had to get a new pump sent. They were really good. AirDog was really good about it. They sent me a warranty one. I did have to pay like $150 for a deposit, and then they're going to refund that to me when I send this one back. So this will just be a video on how to change the pump motor, and it's pretty simple. All you gotta do is start by disconnecting the electrical connector here, and then you can pull your water separator, because that'll give you the access to the bolts that you're going to need under there. I'm going to try not spilling very much. We'll see how well this works. I promise nothing. And I think it's a 1/4 inch Allen on here. Start pulling it. Now when I put this back in, I'm going to put a fuel pressure gauge on it. There is a port on top of the AirDog where you can put that in. I've got a 100, and this motor is quite a bit bigger, so I'm gonna have to find a way of getting it around. I don't even know if it's possible. It might be. But we'll have to try to get it around the motor. Otherwise, I can hook it up to my fleece fuel distribution block up on the engine too, and it will get me fuel pressure up there too. And while I'm at this, I'm gonna pull the fuel filter too, just because I want to try to see if the cat filter will bolt right onto this thing. And those bolts on here are 7/16, so I can get those up and moved around a little bit so I can that was smooth. And you're going to need a 3/16 Allen head to hold the bolts that actually mount this thing if you do need to move it. Now the pump should just lift off, hopefully. But I promise nothing. And the bowl stayed in there. One of the gaskets did stay on top. find it. It's gonna be a little round one. There should be. And now we can stick the new one on. I am gonna go on top and clean off the whole top of this thing to make sure no dirt gets in it whatsoever, because that would suck. Alrighty. Instead of putting AirDog 2-micron filter or diesel RX filter back on, I was going to put a cat filter on this thing. There's a 1R0751. This is supposed to be a 2-micron filter, and they're supposed to be really good. And the best part is, they're like $7 or $17 and change at your cat dealer. And it does look like I'm going to have to modify my bracket if I'm going to get this to work. Just barely, though. If I moved her down that way a little bit, no, she's still gonna hit. She is close, though. Really, really close. Alright. I may pop this bracket off and then go take care of that. And then I'll be back. All you gotta do, it looks like, is grind just a little bit off of the inside edges here. And she looks like she'll go on pretty easy. Alrighty, now that you have your AirDog off, and your new pump ready, you can start putting them back together. You can see this right here. It is black, so it's really kind of hard to see. There's a ball right here. There's a port here, a port here, and when AirDog gives you this warranty kit, it gives you 4 new bolts, which are supposed to be torqued to 90 inch-pounds. 2 new gaskets, 2 dowel pins, and then that ball again. And here's the new one. And the ball will go right here. Your larger O-ring will obviously go there. Your smaller O-ring obviously will go there. Putting it back in is not too bad. That ball does like to move around a little bit, so you gotta kind of watch it with that thing if you want to do it with the AirDog still on the truck and just do the motor itself. We've got the new pump back on, and we're going to torque the 4 motor bolts to 90 foot-pounds. And in a crisscross fashion. And that should be it. All I gotta do is tighten these 4 bolts down and put my filters back on, and we will be ready to bleed the system on this. I did try to put my cat filter on. These little things right there, you see, next to the pickup straw there, they actually impede me from putting that filter on because it doesn't seat deep enough. It actually comes into contact with those. I don't know if I need them or not. I don't know what they do, but I figured I wouldn't take them out. And there is a port on the top of the AirDog, like right about there, where you can put a gauge or a sending unit to try to monitor the fuel pressure on this. This motor is so large now, it's not going to work. Luckily, I do have that fleece distribution block up front, which also has a 1/4-inch MPT port on it, which I'm going to use. I didn't really want to use that one because I didn't want the sensor sticking out of that, looking kind of odd and weird, but I'm kind of stuck with it now, so that's where it's gonna go. I took these little spring-loaded things right here on the side that seems to hold the filter. I took those out, and now I am actually able to get that cat filter on. I did have to move it around a bit, and she does now seal up. So yeah, there you go. Welcome back, YouTube. I got curious last night and was thinking that I might be able to actually put on that gauge here. So I dropped the pump again, and it does look like that Edelman fitting right there does fit. It is a 45 degree, but she is close. It's a 1/8 NPT. Part number on it from Edelman is a 224200, and I just thought I'd want to share that with you. I'm going to be installing a glow shift gauge, fuel pressure gauge in my Ram 2500 with a Cummins diesel in it. When you get these gauge, it's going to come with this sensor. It will not come with this snubber valve, which you do need, and you can also get it through glow shift. So you're going to need this, and you're going to need this, and put them together. It comes with thread locking compound or thread sealing compound out there already, so you don't have to go crazy on this. You don't have to really torque it down too much. It should seal just fine. And then this, we'll put a little sealing compound on. And then we'll go put it on my AirDog, actually. Here's my AirDog. I have a rag stuffed into the port here. This is an Edelman fitting, actually. It's a 45 1/8 MPT. Any of your local parts stores should have it. So that is where we'll be putting the snubber valve and sensor. There's this. And she is a tight fit in here, and it's not going to work. It appears. Not unless I take off the pump again, it looks like. And try to use that. So I guess the pump's coming off again for the third time. You guys, here's the filters I've got for my AirDog. I was able to get the cat filter on, and here's my air water separated. It's a Donaldson filter. I haven't had any problems with these.
Everything's gone pretty well. These cat filters are probably one of the better filters out there right now, so that's kind of why I decided to go with the cat filter. It's bigger, more filter media, and more filter area is just going to be a little bit more peace of mind. And then this is the sensor that came with the glow shift gauge. It's a pretty good sensor. I like the lead layer on this. It's probably one of the better things on the gauge. And everything seems to be going really good. Haven't had any problems. To run that up there, I just ran it with one of the fuel feed line, and then I had it zip tied up, and it just goes up along the side of the motor. Since this is an automatic, there is a plug right here in the firewall, so I just drilled a hole in that and then ran that sensor wire through there. If you haven't seen it before, this is where I mounted my glow shift gauge. It just goes up to 30 psi here. This gauge, you just need a 12 volt switch, which just knows when the key is on. It takes a power and it takes a ground. Plus, you got to plug in the input sensor from the pressure sensor that's on the fuel, the AirDog fuel pump itself, and it reads fine. So when you turn it on, it should just key on. It's gonna depend on what gauge you get is going to depend on the hookups on it. Like this autometer one here takes another key or another wire to know when the light's on. This one's got a light on all the time, which I don't really much like it. I wish there was an ability to have the lights come on with the lights. I really don't like having the light on all the time, but that's also just me. I might be putting another battery in this thing here pretty soon, so and then the tranny's starting to act up a little bit. The torque converter, I think, is about had enough in this thing, so the tranny rebuild is coming. If you guys want to follow me on Instagram, I created an Instagram account. I just put some of the stuff of the parts that have came in on there, so you just be seeing some of the stuff that I'm getting in like the future videos I'll be making on it. And that's all for this one, and I'll see you in the next one, and thanks for watching.